students. Today we are going to study the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum of our book Flamingo. The poem, written by Stephen Spender, describes the social inequalities which are prevailing in the society. In the poem, he describes the condition of the students of an elementary school which is situated in a slum area. The poet wants to draw attention of everyone towards these kids so that their life can be improved and they may get trained to become good citizens rather than criminals. The poet describes the children who study in an elementary school which is set up in a slum area. The poet says that the face of the children are dull and without any energy. They are not full of energy like other kids of their age. These children are compared to unwanted weed. Weed, वो plants जो खेतों में उग जाते हैं apart from the crops. So they are removed from the field. Here the writer wants to say that these children seem to be unwanted like the unwanted weeds which grow on their own in the fields. Their hair is not neatly done. It falls on their pale face as if they have been torn apart. The children are untidy. They haven't combed their hair. Then he describes a tall girl who seems to be burdened by poverty. Her head is bent, maybe because of tiredness or shame. There is another boy who is so weak and thin that he has been compared to a sheet of paper. The boy's eyes reflect greed and he wants to achieve everything. Then he describes another student who is physically disabled. The poet says that this boy is unlucky because he inherited a disease from his father, due to which he has a deformed body. Instead of getting any facility from his father, he has received a disease in heritage. बाकी लोग हेरिटेज में प्रॉपर्टी इनहेरिट करते हैं. दिस बॉय हैज इनहेरिटेड डिजीज फ्रॉम हिज फादर. This disabled boy is sitting on his bench and is reciting his lesson. At the back of the class, in dim, dark area, was a small boy who was not visible to the poet as he was sitting in darkness. The poet could see his eyes, which were bright and full of a dream. He was not paying attention to the class. It seemed as if he was rather interested in playing with squirrels. Now look at some literary devices used in these lines. Now this one like rootless weed, and here the children are compared with rootless weed. So here it is simile. The paper seeming boy. Here the boy is directly called paper seeming, means this is implied simile, so this one is metaphor. And this one far, it is repetition. These are the words used in the first stanza. You can note down their meaning if you wish. Now in the second stanza, the poet describes the wall of the school. They are cream in color like the color of sour cream. This means that the walls are not clean. They have not been painted recently. The walls are covered with different charts and images that must have been donated by different people. There is a picture of Shakespeare on the wall. His head, which is bald, looks like the rising sun at the horizon. जो उनका सिर है वो उसमें बाल नहीं है, गंजे हैं, और वो कैसा दिख रहा है कि सनराइज कर रहा है, सन वहाँ से निकल रहा है. At the time of daybreak, the sun is rising at the horizon and is semicircular like a dome shape. ये जो सीनरी जनरली आपको दिखती है कि एक सन पहाड़ों के बीच से निकल रहा है, एक उस तरह की पिक्चर भी है. इट सीम्स टू बी बिहाइंड ऑल द सिटीज़, और वो सब शहर से पीछे से निकल रहा है. देर इज़ अ पिक्चर ऑफ फेमस टैरसी वैली विच हैज़ ब्यूटिफुल फ्लावर्स. सो टैरसी वैली जो है वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में है और उसके भी फोटो वहाँ पे लगी है. देयर इज़ द इमेज ऑफ अ मैप विच हेल्प्स ऑल इन इट्स ओन वे. मैप उससे हमें काफ़ी जानकारी मिलती है, वो भी एक मैप भी लगा हुआ है. बट फॉर दीज चिल्ड्रेन द मैप ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इज irrelevant बिकॉज द स्लम वेयर दे लिव इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम वॉट इज सोन इन द मैप. जो इन पिक्चर्स में, इन मैप्स में जो दिख रहा है वो उनकी लाइफ में कभी उन्होंने देखा ही नहीं है. ठीक है. देयर वर्ल्ड इज ओनली वॉट दे सी आउट ऑफ द विंडो ऑफ द क्लासरूम, द स्लम. देयर फ्यूचर इज फुल ऑफ डार्कनेस. Their future is compared to a narrow street, which means there is no wide scope available for their future growth. These children are far away from the radiant light of knowledge and education. Now look at some literary devices. Sour cream walls and a narrow street sealed in with lead sky. Here it is metaphor. Here Bald, flowery Trollsey Valley. Here you can see the province of E letter. So here it is assonance. And another one, this one Shakespeare's Head and Trollsey Valley. When already known thing, a known personality or known place is used as a reference, so we call it allusion. So here are some words that are used in this second stanza. So if you wish, you can write down these words meaning. Now the third one, the poet further says that these children living in the slum area have faced so many hardships that they feel every other person to be their enemy. For them, Shakespeare is an evil man. Here Shakespeare is called evil, wicked, because Shakespeare in throughout his literature work he has never mentioned about these type of people. He has only written about the court, love and other things, good things only. He has never mentioned about this type of people. They don't find the map to be a good thing. They were never liked or loved by anyone. Therefore, they hate almost everyone. Their desire of being loved and others force them to steal. जो चाहते हैं कि लोग उनको प्यार करें, इसलिए वो क्या करते हैं, चोरी करते हैं. टू हैव समथिंग, कुछ उनके पास होगा तो लोगों को दिखाएंगे, एंड देन पीपल विल लव देम. They live in small homes and they have started adjusting to it. Their life is going towards an endless night. This means that their future is full of darkness. These kids are so thin that one can easily see their bones through the thin layer of skin. Their skin is like the thin layer of cloth, and the bones beneath are visible through the skin. These kids suffer from malnutrition. They wear spectacles which are made of steel. They are cheap and very uncomfortable. Even the lenses in the spectacles are repaired. The spectacles look like stones which have been repaired with pieces of glass sticking out of them. Here the poet tries to explain that these kids have to face so many hardships in their lives. As these slums are getting bigger, they will destroy the future of these children, and it is very difficult for such kids to escape from them. Now look at some literary devices used in these lines. Crammed holes. So their hole is called directly cramped hole. So it is metaphor. Like bottle bites on a stone. Here it is simile. Another one from fog, you can see the initial sound is same. So here it is alliteration. Here are some words that were used in the stanza. If you want, you can note down their meaning. And this one, the last one, the poet says that the government should take notice of the problems being faced by these kids. He urges them to change the life of these kids and make the world map a reality for them. जो वो सिर्फ मैप्स में देख रहे हैं वो वास्तव में उन चीज़ों को देख पाएँ, इसके लिए वो गवर्नमेंट से एंड बाकी लोगों से अपील कर रहे हैं. There is a need to break the restrictions which are put on them due to poverty and lack of resources. He wants the governor and public to help these kids in achieving their dreams, as this will take them away from fog to azure sky. जो वो झोपड़ी में रहते हैं, छोटे छोटे घरों में रहते हैं, चारों तरफ फॉग है, धुआं है, वहाँ से वो खुले आसमान में जाएं. The poet here wants to say that in this way the kids can be taken away from the darkness of their present to a bright future. He wants these kids to experience the sands and the beauty of nature, as this will lead to a desire of gaining knowledge. जब वो नेचर में जाएंगे तो उन्हें जानने की मतलब इच्छा जो है वो बढ़ेगी. They will then go through the white and green leaves. Here white leaves depict books and green leaves depict nature. जो white books और green books कहा गया है वो book और nature को represent करता है. This will then result in their progress and they will be able to paint a bright future for themselves. Now look at the some literary devices used here. This one, the white and green leaves. This one here it is implied simile, so we call it metaphor. And run azure and run naked. Here you can see the two lines begins with the same word, so here it is anaphora. So here we come to the end of this poem. So I have mentioned the literary devices for you. If you want, you can note it down. And thank you for listening.